In honor of Mother's Day weekend just ending, I decided a parenting video would be a perfect way to start this week. I have such gratitude for being the mother of my four sons. No one else can mother your children but you. I find this to be an accurate statement. Also, the one statement that had me quaking from head to toe was, "You have one shot at parenting." I took that one to heart when my firstborn was a baby. I've had a lot of resources over the years to draw from. Focus on the Family and Family Life are the big ones. Also, books from authors like Dr. James Dobson, Gary Smalley, H. Norman Wright, Kevin Leman, and recently I discovered Lisa Whelchel, who was Blair from The Facts of Life. She has authored several books, and she was also a homeschool mom. I made a sacrifice to stay at home with my kids as much as I could. There were times I needed to work, so I juggled that as well. Fortunately, I was home for the most part. I grew up with a mom always being at work, babysitters, and when I was older, no guidance or supervision. I can honestly say my kids had a mom that was there for them. One piece of advice I was given by one of the male authors mentioned above, and there are many more not listed here, especially regarding fathers in the mix. I'm hoping those will be coming soon, is to show that you need to have an interest in your kids, especially teenagers. I will it will keep the line of communication open that way. Another thing I discovered when doing this is we didn't battle our teenagers as much going about it this way. Much of the teenager rebellion comes from kids that feel unloved or neglected by their parents. We must remain engaged with their choices in music, TV, internet, and especially friends. Stay engaged, not disengaged, or you may lose your teenager forever. I cannot stress this point any more than that. We discussed openly with our kids about drugs, sex, and this society's upcoming issues. We educate. That's our job until they're 18, and even then, when asked, we will give our advice. But the choice at that stage in their lives is always theirs to make. As far as the little ones, you need to exercise your authority early. They will try to win the power struggle early, and if allowed by the age of 5, it will be an uphill battle up through the teenage years. Dr. James Dobson's book, Parenting Isn't for Cowards, explains our need as parents to not give in to these little master manipulators. You must stand firm. And when you're grandparents, then you have earned some leeway, but not too much, because children are very good at pitting grandparents and parents against each other. Family dynamics can also play a role in child rearing. We lived with David's parents the first 4 years of our marriage with our first two sons, and there was a lot of turmoil for me as a new wife and mother, and friction with my mother in law didn't help. If you're struggling as I was, hang in there. Things will be better. It just takes time. I leaned on God a whole lot back then, and He hears you and He is right beside you, feeling every ounce of your pain. He will make a way where you feel like there is no way. A wonderful gift is a gift of an older woman coming alongside you in these harrowing times, if possible. I had one for a short time, but she still was there for me with sound advice, and if nothing else, just knowing I could call her was enough. Friendships are so vital and necessary, but if you're alone like me for most of my child rearing years, God is always there, day or night. He will be there for you. And I don't want to make light of parenting. It is a hard job. And if you're married, it is a team. Children will try to pin mom against dad. One rule was always if one parent already said no, the answer is no. That saved us from a lot of headaches with the kids. You must be a solid team and on the same page, or trust me, kids will find a loophole somewhere. They're crafty that way. Last but not least, pray for your children. I cannot stress that enough. I've had several books on praying for them when they're young, when they're teens and adults. Also, pray for your husband. God must cover your family for it to be successful. I'm not saying we didn't make mistakes along the way, but our experience was a lot easier than most. I don't know how many parents out there still get hugs and kisses from their grown children, but we do almost daily, and we all still live together. So I think that's saying a lot. One thing I realize is parenting is a reflection of your relationship with Jesus Christ. If you have a healthy relationship with your kids, chances are you have a healthy relationship with Jesus Christ. If you have destruction in every relationship, including your marriage, chances are you need to look closer at your relationship with Jesus Christ. I feel truly blessed that my kids don't suffer from low self-esteem, feeling unloved or unwanted or ignored. I also wrote each one of my children a letter of love while I carried them, so that they would know how much their birth was wanted, anticipated, and so filled with love. I hope to instill this in future generations to come. I urge you to look closely at your relationships. See what you can do today to reflect God's unconditional love.